Hey, everybody. God, my glasses are dirty as hell. Alright, guys, so you ready? My youngest goddaughter's second birthday just came up, so happy birthday, Addie. I made an outfit. It's a birthday outfit. I made her an outfit before for her first birthday. Here's what it looks like. I actually made this one from scratch. I made this one from Tool on a Bolt, and I just got a onesie and embroidered her shirt and a bib and a couple other things. I made the headband from scratch and everything else. This one I didn't make totally from scratch. I actually used a little assistant from a skirt that she already had and just enhanced it a little bit by putting a piece of ribbon on the bottom and sewed it. Here's the stuff that you'll need. And obviously you may not have the same skirt that I have, but there's some things that you could get probably in your local Walmart or retail store, Target, whatever, and use it the same way. Just be creative.
Things you'll need are clothing, embroidery floss and a ring, needle and thread, heat and bond fabric adhesive sheets, ribbon, feathers, flowers, embellishments, iron, sewing machine or non-sewing materials, fabric material, scissors, and hot glue. Starting with the skirt, we're going to singe the end of the ribbon with a lighter. Next, I took the ribbon trim and lined it up with the seam of the tool and used straight pins to pin it. Once I've pinned the entire skirt, I trim off the excess. Next, using a sewing machine, I sew the trim to the tool. If you don't have a sewing machine or if not comfortable with sewing, just use some no-sew liquid and it will work just the same. And back stitch the ends. And that's it for the skirt. Next, for the headband, I cut off a piece of felt for a surface to adhere the embellishments. Next, I cut a strip of gray fleece, fold it in half and glue it, and cut little slits down the bend of the fleece. Then I take the hot glue and put it at the base of the felt and roll it up until I reach the ends, and make sure I secure the ends at the tip with more glue. Now I fan out the slits for the flower petals. Using a dollar earring from Walmart, I will glue that in the middle, and now I have a flower. Next, I place some feathers on top of the felt in the arrangement that I'd like for it to look before gluing it down. Once you have the feathers in the arrangement that you'd like for them to lay, next start gluing the feathers to the felt. After you've glued all of the feathers, trim the excess off. To give the feathers a softer look, take your scissors and curl the tips of the feathers with the edge of the scissors blade. Do not put too much pressure on the feather or it will actually rip the strands of feathers off. If you've ever done the technique where you run a piece of ribbon down the blade of a scissor for it to curl, it's the same technique, just do it with the feathers. Before using any glue, place down your embellishments in the way that you'd like to see them. After you have an arrangement plan, start putting your embellishments down onto your headband. Flip the arrangement over, put hot glue on the back, and use scissors to adhere it to the headband. Next, print out the letter or number that you would need and cut it out. Using the fabric of your choice, take the letter or number that you cut out, flip it backwards, and trace it onto the fabric and cut it out. Now do the same for the heat and bond sheet. This sheet will help the fabric from slipping and fraying. Now place the same letter or number that you cut out from the heat and seal to the back of the fabric and iron the back of the material. Peel off the backing, place it on the shirt, and now iron the front of the material. Now take some embroidery floss the length of your arm and snip it. There should be 6 strands. Split those strands into 3 strands, 6 strands into 3 strands, and split them down the middle. Now thread your needle and tie a knot at the end. Do not bring the 2 ends together. Make sure to knot it multiple times so that it doesn't slip through when you pull the needle through the material. Now place the shirt onto an embroidery ring and tighten the outer ring so that it doesn't slip. Now I'm not an expert at embroidery, so I don't know what this stitch is called, but it's sort of a zigzag. You start at one end, go into a diagonal direction, pull the loop, insert the needle at the adjacent spot and insert the needle back into the same loop that you went into before. And you basically repeat this pattern all the way through, and you'll see either like little V's or a zigzag shape form. I'll show you a close-up, or I may even just put the name of the stitch at the bottom. It doesn't have to be perfect as long as it's secure. Now I'm placing the embellishments that I want on the shirt in the order that I like to have them in, and I'm going to take a sewing pencil and trace down the shirt where I would want to make stitches on the shirt. Now I'm going to grab some green embroidery floss and thread it the same way. This stitch is called a running stitch. You basically insert the stitch, go in about 1/4 inch forward, and then you come back in the middle of that previous stitch and keep going. This stitch allows you to create curves. Here I'm just giving you a close-up of how I knot my stitches in the back. I make multiple knots so that they do not come loose. Now I'm going to thread the embellishments onto the shirt. There's actually a bead in the middle of this embellishment, so I'll just run my needle through it and continue to sew it onto the shirt. Using the pink embroidery floss, I do the same method for the pink flower. I also put just a dab of fabric glue on the back just to secure it. And using some white thread that I used for the ribbon trim, I attached the bow to the shirt the same method as I did the flowers. And that's it. So just take it off the embroidery ring and admire your work. Good job. Before I made her little barefoot sandals, but this time we're going to use some little Converses that are so cute. Snip the ribbon, measure it the same length of their shoestring, and snip it again and make another one the same exact size, and singe the ribbon just as you did with the white ribbon. Now lace the shoe as you would just a regular shoestring. And that's it for the shoes. I didn't want to do too much to them. I wanted to keep them simple.
So that was it. That was this week's project. I wish this would stop moving. It's really simple. It's not that hard. I always say it's really simple. It's not that hard. Hashtag is really simple, not that hard. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Check out my Facebook page if you have not already. It's at Carolina Blue Jay. And again, just don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down there. I don't know if it's on this side or that side, but anyway, find it and click it. All right. Until next week, much love.